This is from the rooftop of the Wabe Shebelle Hotel in Addis. We're about 11 stories up, and it's like a beautiful view of the city. And this is in the Mexico district. You can see all the different things that are out here. And in the distance there is the African Union building. And today they're having an African Union summit. So it's a very crowded day on Sunday here in Addis Ababa. So I'm just taking this video so everyone can see what it's like taking a look around Addis Ababa from 11 stories up. You could see here all the view of the city, and the downtown area of Addis is called the Bole district. This district is called Mexico, and Bole is like the business district. It's kind of like the Manhattan of Addis. And in the distance there, that's the Bole district. That's where everyone really wants to live, and where it's very nice to live because everything is going on there. And people find it very convenient to live there. And you can see here, it's that's the African Union building. That was built by the Chinese for about $250 million. They actually donated the money because they have a big incentive to see that the political organization of Africa works. And this is the new train system that they developed. And this is a infrastructure that, again, the Chinese built because they felt was really important to have this infrastructure. And you can see in the distance, like the train, the light rail system. And there we have more of the light rail system, all going through like the center of the city. This was essential because with this light rail system, it helps alleviate the increased traffic flow. Right now in Addis, there is a lot of traffic, and that's part of the problem. And what that's a reflection of is the increased wealth in Addis, the increased amount of people who want to buy cars, and the increased amount of people who are very eager to drive around to make things easier, because transportation here is good. Many people use taxis and buses. However, people prefer the mobility, as they do in New York, as they do in any other big city, so that they could come and go as they please. And as I said, this is the Mexico district. And so people really like it here. Also, a lot of times in Addis, they maintain the power for the Bole district, which is like the Manhattan area, and for the Mexico district, which is where we are. And that's because they want the diplomats and all the other people to constantly have power. In other areas, it's not as easy for the city to maintain the power. Part of it is just buying into the infrastructure, or buying into having more generating capacity, and then getting the payback from that. So I think there's a question of how much to invest in that. And this is a view of the distance of the mountains, because as the viewers of this little video might be aware, Addis is in the mountains. And that's why there are no mosquitoes in Addis. That's why there's no malaria in Addis, because the elevation is too high. And you can see the mountains in the distance. And a lot of times people live within about 8 kilometers or 4 miles of Addis. So they might say, I have to go home, and it takes them a lot of time to go home. But that's only because the transportation, using taxis or other public transportation, takes a longer time. You can see here all these new buildings that have gone up. These are condominiums. This is the new popular trend in Addis, to have condominiums and to live there. Now, living in homes is great for Addis, however, it's too expensive. And a lot of the younger people are finding it very beneficial just to move into a condo. And this way they could start a family. And you can see there, buildings going up. I am really impressed with how many new buildings are going up in Addis. Like, you see everywhere, cranes, everywhere, new construction going on. I think that's a sign of like the 8% growth rate that you have here in Addis Ababa. And that's why you have many international businesses from all over the world flocking to Addis Ababa to establish their presence before they have their competition come here. So here, you can see in the distance there, all the new buildings, the mountains. And again, this is being videotaped from the 11th floor of the Wabe Shebelle Hotel. This hotel is one of the oldest hotels in Addis, and it's a historic hotel. And many people like to stay here. Many diplomats really like to stay here because it has this historical significance being here. And it's really a quaint hotel to be in too. I am not staying here this time, but it's a well-known hotel. Many people love to eat on the 11th floor. They have a beautiful restaurant on the 11th floor, and so far the view is unobstructed. But I don't think it's going to be unobstructed for long, because you can see here they're preparing a lot of these sites for much larger buildings to go up. And because other people want to have unobstructed views in their like 20-story or 30-story towers. So here we're going to take another view around to take a look at what we saw already. And again, that's the light rail system there. Brand new, just opened up a few months ago. And many people are riding it now. And it's going to serve a really great purpose. And there again in the distance is the African Union building. Again, Chinese money built both the light rail and the African Union building. And as I pointed out before, there is so much construction going on in Addis. It's really amazing. But I think it's because everyone sees the demand for increased housing and the demand for increased office space, because Addis is one of the safest cities in Ethiopia. And many diplomats just love coming here because it is so nice to be here. And then many corporations, when they want to establish where they are, they in East Africa, they will establish their headquarters here in Addis. And there you have it, like a great view from the 11th floor of the Wabe Shebelle Hotel in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.